a team from the Ministry of Works on an infrastructural tour. An appeal for change in the Bahamian diet. And the Red Cross applauded for its role in disaster management.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Minister of Works and a delegation from the nation's capital are on Grand Bahama on a fact-finding mission. The team arriving this morning with a busy schedule that will take them from East End to West End. Italia Hall reports.
The Minister of Works, the Honorable Desmond Bannister, and a delegation arrived on a two-day tour of Grand Bahama. They hope to get a first-hand view of the infrastructural conditions on Grand Bahama. The first stop for the team was the Ministry of Works and Urban Development Office, located in the National Insurance Building.
It is not the best place for Ministry of Works, being on the second floor of a building. We also have some issues with respect to leakage, with respect to storage. We're going to have to look at to better serve the community. But I'm just on first view. We have an amazing mixture of staff. Lots of young, enthusiastic people.
From the Ministry of Works office, the minister visited the Garnet Lavarity Justice Center. Now, the court has been in a state of disrepair for some time now. The minister says the ministry is working hard to make the necessary changes as soon as possible.
So we've had the engineers down here 2 weeks ago to look at the roof. We're going to have to peel that whole roof back, that flat roof, and we're going to have to reinstate the roof just before we could do anything in the building. So we're budgeting now for a complete reinstatement of that roof. Once the roof is reinstated, then we have to go in the building. There are many challenges in that building that we have to address. I believe there have been some challenges with respect to the initial construction of it that were overlooked when the building was when it was put up.
The team then walked across the street to the post office in Freeport. For years now, employees have been complaining about the working conditions. Ceiling tiles are missing, and the building is not fully air-conditioned. The minister admits that over the years, successive governments have done a poor job in managing public buildings.
This is another building with a flat roof, which adds to the challenges with respect to maintenance, but it's also an old building. And so when you look at it, you see the cast iron pipes, and so there are issues with respect to the bathroom which have to be addressed.
The Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, was also on hand for the tour.
We've had issues with this building for some time under successive governments, but the mere fact that he's here today and he wants to improve the infrastructure and to correct many of the problems that have been going on with this building, we're delighted to have him.
The final stop during the morning session of the minister's tour was the new fire station located on Cathedral Boulevard. The facility was fully completed in 2017. The minister says the building will be turned over to the Ministry of National Security, and they are now seeking to purchase furniture.
Mr. McDonald did an extremely professional job, and I want to commend him and the former administration for having the foresight to be able to put a facility here like this. And as you see from the fire trucks, my staff is very proud that fire trucks can get in. I know there's a rumor that they can't get in here, but this can fit 8 trucks. So this is a state-of-the-art facility.
The building is comprised of 14 dormitory space for male and female officers, day room space for officers on duty. It has a day room for officers for recreation. It has a kitchen facility for the use of the officers as well.
Following the morning session, the minister and his team then visited several facilities in West Grand Bahama. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
The Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Dwayne Sands, underscoring some of the challenges impacting the health of the nation during the official opening of the World Health Month festivities here on Grand Bahama. The Health Minister calling for change in order to achieve a healthier Bahamas. Healthcare officials marking World Health Day and launching this month's activities, which will focus on raising awareness of global health issues. This year, the World Health Organization implemented the theme, Universal Health Coverage, Everyone, Everywhere. Hospital Administrator Sharon Williams says that this is the very foundation on which the Grand Bahama Health Services has been built and will continue to develop.
With the input of healthcare providers, our health services, public and private, our partner organizations, the workplace, families, and persons taking individual pride in their care, that we can find ways to maximize access and coverage.
The Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Dwayne Sands, delivering the keynote message. He says that Bahamians need to be empowered to take control of their health, but more importantly, they must take responsibility in applying the tools and information they receive. He says Bahamians are at risk of developing preventable health conditions.
Far too many Bahamians live unhealthy lives. They consume too much salt. They consume too much sugar. You know, the old people say, if you like it, let it kill you, right? And that is the Bahamian way. And far too little of what we consume is actually nutritious. Far too many of us live sedentary lives, inviting the many complications that arise from a lack of sufficient physical activity.
He adds that the Bahamas has the immense challenge of the implementation of national health insurance, noting that with the current trends in non-communicable diseases among residents, the nation's already challenged economy will be crippled by our health challenges and the costs associated.
There's no doubt that the need for universal coverage is clear. Our country's total health expenditure ranks among the top 5 in absolute dollars, in the top 5 in Latin America and the Caribbean. I am advised that per capita, it is the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean.
The health minister says that dialogue with the public-private sector, as well as with the general public, will continue. In other news, the Immigration Department taking 2 Jamaican nationals to court, one to be charged with overstaying, the other with harboring. Patrick George St. John, 45, appearing before Magistrate Charlton Smith and charged with overstaying. St. John was found in Freeport after he had overstayed the 30-day period given to him as a visitor. Reports say that at the time of his arrest, St. John was found hiding in a closet. St. John pleaded guilty to overstaying and was fined $1,500 or 4 months behind bars. He was unable to pay the fine and is currently in police custody. Meantime, permanent resident Tyrone Palmer, 36, also appearing in court. His charge, harboring an illegal migrant. He is accused of harboring Patrick George St. John in his Palm Club apartment. Palmer pled not guilty and was granted bail in the amount of $5,000 with 1 or 2 sureties, and the case was adjourned to July. Both men were also charged with possession of marijuana and possession with intent to supply. They both pled guilty. Bail was denied. They were remanded until the end of July. And as we continue our youth and crime series tonight, we hear of the work of police in helping to steer the youth away from a life of crime. Police say special attention is being given to the youth right now to ensure that they develop into productive citizens. Officer in charge of urban development and community policing, ASP Gregory Lockhart, says that the Northern District of the Royal Bahamas Police Force has a strong grasp on the criminal element, specifically gang activity among the youth. He says that while it is not a major issue on this island, the force is continually seeking to steer young people in the right direction at an early age.
We don't have a lot of gang involvement per se in the schools. We have persons out there, they're just trying to be a part of something. They may wear the colors of some gang that they hear outside of schools. And we ask them, just take a different look, take a different approach.
He says that there have been no major incidents brought to the attention of the force regarding young people's involvement in gangs. He says that while he believes that young people may turn to mischief as they seek a sense of belonging, he is encouraging them to seek more positive outlets.
Bearing in mind, we do have a handful of students, young adolescent students, who are probably out there just looking for an identity, and they tend to get themselves in mischief and unscrupulous activities. With that being said, we are out there and in and around the schools daily, and our active mentorship programs is geared towards steering our at-risk students in the right direction.
He says that officers are committed to protecting young people while also putting in place various measures to prevent them from becoming the perpetrators of crime.
We realize that positive youth interaction is useful and helpful in this endeavor. With that being said, we have partnered with the Ministry of Education and all private schools in promoting and creating a crime-free zone at all the schools. We have heightened our community policing programs and also our school-based policing programs. Therefore, you will see police officers in and around the schools on a daily basis, giving speeches, lectures, and mentoring programs from sexual offenses, dangerous drugs, cyberbullying, the role of the police, and all other things that may come to our attention.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.